It's Thursday, August 22nd, and you're listening to The Geek at Geek News Central, the longest continuously running tech podcast. This is show number 884, sponsored in part by GoDaddy.com. Our August GoDaddy special, get 32% off your order at GoDaddy.com by using the promo code GO32OFF1. Or get it just a .com for $2.49. Geek News Center is a proud member of the Tech Podcast Network. If it's tech, it's here. Hey, folks, got a great show lined up for you tonight. Lots to share. I'm running around here like a chicken with my head cut off. So you know what comes next. Strap in. Here it comes.
All right, people, I need a go, no-go for the Geek News Central podcast. Digital archive recorders.
We're go fly.
Microphone.
We're go fly.
Video feed.
Go.
Web browser.
Go.
RSS data stream aggregator.
Go fly.
Interflux Toddism suppressor.
All right, I'm confused.
Host readiness check.
Welcome to the show. Welcome to the show.
The Geek News Central podcast is a proud member of the Tech Podcast Network. If it's tech, it's here. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are ready to go. Cue Todd in
5,
Button, who's got the button?
4,
There is no cause for alarm.
3,
Everybody hold on to something.
2,
Just press the button.
1.
Aloha and welcome to Geek News Central, coming to you as live as it can be from the beautiful state of Hawaii via the Geek News Central studio overlooking Greater Honolulu. Hey, everyone, welcome to the show. And boy, I tell you, I'm all thumbs. I'm trying to do 2 or 3 things at one time because I wanted to get the show started here, even though we were really had to push back a little bit, leaving later tonight due to everything that's been going around here. So I haven't gotten kind of all of the controls fired off. So it's going to be one of those evenings. I'm sure it'll end up being a great show, but welcome everyone. And I want to give just a big hug to all of the Ohana and all of you longtime listeners of the show. Thanks for being here. And, grab a cup of coffee, or if it's in the evening, indulge in an adult beverage or whatever it may be, whatever time you may be listening. Get relaxed, get settled in here. Got a lot to share with you for the show today. Lots in the tech space. Matter of fact, I was dumping articles faster probably than what I was adding them tonight. Had quite a selection of stuff. So going to try to keep this from being boring whatsoever and get right through the full content. Hey, if you're new to the show, thanks for being here. Thanks for checking us out, or checking my show out for the very first time. And, of course, we want you to get over to geeknewscentral.com. And really, it's all there. The blogging, all the great blog articles by our writers. And then, of course, we've got the content on the website. Of course, Mr. Don Bain, the gadget professor, put up show 119 this afternoon. Langley over at Robot Underpants put up his 115th show the other day as well. And then, of course, our writers are putting stuff up on a daily basis. There's a whole bunch of stuff right there to subscribe to via RSS feed or iTunes, whether it be the audio version of this show, the video portion, the new media show, and, of course, Langley and Don's show as well. And I am definitely in the search for a new host for the Chrome show. So we hope that you'll consider becoming that show's new host. And just didn't work out with getting the host that we had originally scheduled to be on. So it's time to put that really to bed. So I hope that we can find a host for that. Maybe I'm just going to have to step up and do it. But to be honest with you, just too much going around here to really spread too thin when it comes to everything that's going on. But hey, you can watch the show on the Tech Podcast channel on the Roku, Boxy, Samsung Smart TV, Google TV, Chromecast, you name it. You can catch us really any place. Listen or watch again on any piece of glass, any device really known to man. So we want you to get subscribed and be part of the family here. That's the most important part. Don't forget that newsletter, because I send out the show notes immediately following the show. And tonight's show notes will be found at gncshow.com/884. Wow, 884, 16 away from 900. Pretty exciting stuff. It really, really is. The march is on. So really less than 2 months here. So if I don't miss a show, that'll mean September 22nd, around October 22nd will be the 900th show. So that's pretty close to being on track for 9 years of doing the show continuously. So It's pretty exciting times. And then the March to 1,000, obviously. But again, gncsshownotes.com/884 is where the show notes will be found online. And you can contact me, really. It's easy. On Twitter @Geek News. You can email me here at geeknews@gmail.com. The hotline 619-342-7365. I tell you, lots going on. I am, for about a week, I think I got caught up. And then a whole bunch of stuff landed in my lap again, and it's just like we're off to the races. So it's a good thing. Don't get me wrong. It's very good to be busy. Not being busy is dangerous. So we're glad to be to rocking and rolling here. But this show obviously would not be possible without our good friends over at GoDaddy. And we want you to take a few minutes to really think about and examine the great deal that they put together for you this month. And if you're new to the show, I've got lots of codes, lots and lots of codes to use over at GoDaddy at geeknewscentral.com/GoDaddy is where you can find all those codes. $2.49 for a new or transfer.com for your first year using the promo code GEEK249. Or you can get 32% off your new order at GoDaddy by using the promo code GO32OFF1. You can get a new .com with a free private registration for $4 using promo code FREE2. And really, all the codes that the folks at GoDaddy have put together for you is to maximize your savings. And we've also got it so you can really minimize the time you spend on the GoDaddy website, too, by if you click on the banner link on Geek News Central, it'll take you to a kind of a special page that really runs you through, and you put .com in, you get it. It's like 3 steps, and you're out, and you don't get jambled into all their additional offers. So definitely check that out. But all these great codes, and we got more codes on that GoDaddy geeknewscentral.com/GoDaddy page. There's a code there for every occasion, whether you're looking for an SSL certificate, whether you want to get some cash back, a renewal on a .com, maybe a renewal on a server that you may have. There's all kinds of codes there: 20%, 15%, 10%, $20 cash back, 10, 5, so forth, $12.99 SSL certificates. Really, and GoDaddy has been here month after month, year after year, and you guys have held true and strong through this time. We really appreciative of you guys going out and picking up products at GoDaddy. The best deals in the space are going to be found at geeknewscentral.com/go. Share these with your friends, family members, people that you know. Tweet them. Let them know that there's a deal out there for them. And that really it sets the pace for us for being able to continue to do great things here at Geek News Central. So we want to thank GoDaddy, and definitely check them out online. And don't forget to use the codes. And there's a little apply box at the bottom before you enter your credit card data with them to be able to apply the code. So definitely check them out. All right, so let's see here. We're up on YouTube tonight, streaming live, and as far as I know, I think everything's good. I think we're running, and I was going to look over here and take a peek and see if the stream was up and if we were good, and it looks like we are. Sometimes I get the cart before the horse, but we're all good. We're up and live, and I've tweeted that we're live. And of course, for most people, it's 2:30 in the morning. So those of you that are listening later, aren't you glad you're not sitting up and listening to me at 2:30 in the morning from the East Coast or 11:30 on the West Coast? But I don't like getting started doing the show this late. But really, there's been no way to avoid it. The kids are just getting more and more busy with stuff. And my wife tonight really put it to me. Fellas, you know when they are, they've got that sideways look, and it's one of those things where she's like, we need to move. We need to move closer to town. She says, sell this place, rent it. I don't care. We need to move closer to town. And we are spending a lot of time in traffic. It has gotten worse and worse and worse. I've just kind of been, biding my time here, hoping the markets come back. But I'm at this point now where it kind of scares me because interest rates are starting to go back up again, right? So if we're going to do something, it's got to be now before the interest rates get up. Because if I sell this place, then I got to get a new loan, and that means a higher interest rate. But so we'll see. We'll see. And we're going to have to get a realtor in, and we talked about this before. But she's really kind of put it to me, and I'm like, okay, let's go ahead. Let's do it. And I really, to be honest with you, I hate it. I hate being to basically pack things up and move. But we've been in here a while in this place, and we talked about when we moved in that we'd only stay 3 or 4 years, but the economy crashed, and there was just no way to do it. So we'll see where this leads us from a moving standpoint. But she wants to get at least 15 miles closer to town, and and with that comes a price increase, because the farther out of town you are, the lower the price on the homes and condos and so forth. And really, our space isn't going to change. So the closer you get to town, the smaller the houses are, and you can't. If I was wanting something in the area that she's talking about that's the same size, I just don't know if I'll be able to swing it. So we'll see. It'll be what it'll be, and we'll figure it out what's going on. But been in meetings all week before this bomb was dropped on me tonight, and so far so good. So definitely need the business coming in order to quote unquote make something happen here. This coming Saturday, we're going to have a new media show, Chase Jarvis from Creative Live at creativelive.com on the new media show. So we hope that you'll consider joining us at 9 a.m. this coming Saturday for the Creative Live interview, again, with Chase Jarvis. And look forward to having him on the new media show with Rob and I. Anna's interview from the Naval Academy, everything went well. Everything's moving forward and progressing. She did great. So we'll see how that continues to move forward this coming year. And again, nothing's guaranteed. It's kind of like a pre-interview. She's still got to go through the full process, and there's definitely challenges there with that. So anyway, don't want to waste too much time tonight. Just yakking. I'm going to get right into the content here. And it seems like there's something I'm missing to talk about, and yet I'm just sitting here because it really was. I was right before we hit the go live tonight. I was writing in the show notes, so it was one of those deals where thinking in my head, you're missing something. It'll come to me throughout the show, I'm sure. And looking at the past show notes, I didn't see anything. Now I've got you get caught up, and the Chromecasts are starting to ship again, so I got to get those winners. Their Chromecast on the way to them. So that is really close to the top of my priority list, along with a couple other things I'm behind on for show prizes and that kind of stuff. We'll get that out. And I'm telling you, someday I'm going to be able to have someone that can handle some of the extra minutia of this show. And because the administrative stuff, to be honest with you, I love doing the show, but I hate the admin part. I love doing the prep and doing the show and doing the post show. That's all easy peasy, but it's just like these little low hanging fruit things that you can just almost say, you can go do this, please. And it's and I don't have someone to say go do those things yet, and it's just kind of the way it is. So let me get here and into the stack of stuff that I have. Like camera I just put up, that thing's darker than the other camera. Well, you can see I've been paying attention to white balancing. For those of you that are listening, I switched to a side view, and it's definitely, let's see if we can flip back and forth, it's definitely a different tone of I need to get the lights adjusted, and the white balance on that camera levels up a little bit so it doesn't look as bad, because that looks like it's day and night in here. All right, let me go ahead and I'm just delaying here, folks. All right, let me get this, got that loaded. We'll close that window. Start right off with the first article tonight. I saw this actually yesterday, and I wanted to talk about it tonight. The folks over at Torrent Freak had gotten a email from Comcast's enforcement arm, the folks that do their dirty lifting, in my opinion, and basically told the folks at torrentfreak.com to take an article down. Now, we covered that specific article on this show, and it was the article that talked about the folks at, was it Prenda, or which company was it that they were talking about? I think it was Prenda, and basically said, hey, we don't want that article up. We don't want you sharing what we have found. And so long story short here is Torrent Freak basically said, hey, this was a court filing under public records. We have every right to publish what we put up there. And but they were pretty adamant there for a bit. But it turns out today they've updated the website. And at 7 p.m. today, Central Eastern Time, a Comcast spokesperson responded to an inquiry they had sent to the company's lawyers. And the person replied, I'm replying to let you know that the cease and desist was sent in error, and you may disregard it. We apologize for any confusion this may have caused. So here we have is a takedown, a cease and desist that and a threat of legal action based upon something they had no right to ask to be taken down. Now, Torrent Freak has gotten letters like this before, and they've done things like this before, but I don't know how many sites just kind of roll over and take articles down instead of fighting them. Yeah, and it was that article about Prenda Law involved in operating a honeypot. So we had talked about that on this show here. So anyway, that was the article that Comcast wanted removed. Now, another article that came out today is another one on Torrent Freak, was one from the MPAA. In its ongoing battle here to stem the tide of online piracy, the MPA has relied on voluntary agreements with the internet service providers that they've worked with in the 6 strike rule. But Google and other tech companies have not been so willing to implement change that Hollywood has requested. So they, what did I do? Oh, that's interesting. All right. Let's make sure that's okay. There we go. Must be my tasker bar was halfway in and out. That's what I get for changing cameras the wrong way. So they're basically asking the government to tighten legislation so that they could have better enforcement capability. This just goes to show you give these guys an inch and they want to take 10 or 15 feet of rope along with it. And the MPAA has hit this issue where these other companies are not willing to play ball with them. So this is a pretty interesting move here where they are now going back to Congress and trying to get new legislation. But, there's not a lot of stomach for it right now. But so they've reached out and trying to get the Patent Office and some other folks to implement some rules. Now, I don't know how that fully ties in, but it's basically they're trying to get folks to comment on so-called voluntary best practices to reduce instances of online piracy. And but they haven't got a lot of response to this. So we'll just see where this leads here. But this is definitely the internet versus Hollywood. And once again, this battle continues to rage. And they, little by little, they're just going to keep chipping away here. And at some point, they're probably going to get some, you hate to say it, but at some point, they're probably going to get a little traction. Time will tell. Okay, out of Rio de Janeiro, Brazilians were outraged, of course, when they learned the country was a top target of the NSA overseas spying operation, with data from billions of calls and emails swept up in Washington's initiative. But yet, when it comes to the cloak and dagger effort of catching lovers, all high-tech weapons appear to be fair game, or at least to the tens of thousands of Brazilians who downloaded the app called Boyfriend Tracker to their smartphones before the stealthy software was removed from the Google Play App Store last week. Apparently, in response to complaints about piracy abuses and its potential to be used for extortion or even stalking. Now, I don't know. I haven't had a Brazilian girlfriend or anything like that, but I hear that Brazilians are pretty jealous. And an app like that, Boyfriend Tracker, is probably going to be I think it would be pretty popular here in the United States. Especially if it could be loaded and it really isn't seen and it's calling home to mama truly in a sense, and letting the girlfriend or wife know exactly where you are and what you're doing. So the app was called, and I'm not going to try to, it was in Portuguese, Rastreador de... I'm destroying this. I'm not even going to try. Again, it was named Boyfriend Tracker. And but it was sending duplicates of text message sending duplicates of text message traffic from the targeted phone. There was even a command line that allows a user to force a target phone to silently call their own, like a pocket dial, so that they could listen in on what the person was saying. I don't know if it was taking pictures or anything, but definitely this app got the attention of Google, and it got yanked. But I know probably a few women that would like to have that type of app to track their boyfriends. Now, speaking of tracking, the folks over at NPR, at All Things Considered, and it's not a program that I listen to on I wouldn't even say an often basis, but once in a while. But they have did a study that talked about how your Gmail reveals the power of metadata. And it basically showed one individual's basically his email tracking. And they basically took a look at how people are interconnected. And immersion looks at the volume and frequency of your email traffic. It looks at what's known as metadata. And it operates similar to what's supposedly been reported online about what the NSA does, but neither this immersion data, just within a few minutes of looking at the profile, had some very interesting data. It shows people directly connected, friends of yours that and their outer bound circles that you've been CC'd on, and it really drew a pretty good picture of who you were interconnected with and connected to, and dig in pretty deep. Now, this is just kind of a little quick test. This is something that wasn't studied over weeks and days. It was just a quick review of the person's email account to come up with these basically circles and interconnections and who had cross connections and so forth. So very cool stuff here, and it shouldn't be too big of a stretch for all of us to understand the power of that. All right, switching gears here. Web-based apps like Skype are posing tricky problems for countries like Saudi Arabia. Saudi Arabia is apparently seeking to tighten control over web-based applications that offer freedom to communicate that is impossible for most Saudis in the real world, or may even seek to ban such apps altogether. Now, here's an interesting fact, and this is the reason why I wanted to share this. Saudi Arabia has about 27 million people, and let me read this again. With just under half of the kingdom's nearly 27 million people, are younger than 25. So that says that they've got 13.5 million people that are under the age of 25 who are basically wanting to have a connected life. They're using social media, and they're willing to meet people more person to person. And if you've traveled anywhere in the Middle East and understand the culture, you'll understand that this is some of this activity is a big no-no. And, you go somewhere, walking down the street, and a couple of ladies maybe walking around going shopping, but you can almost be guaranteed that a brother or an uncle or a cousin is tagging along with them as kind of their chaperone. Now, most American women, most women outside of the Middle East would consider this absolutely crazy, but there is some true cultural issues over there, and there's always this gender mixing is restricted to a tight control of relatives and family friends, and so this new social media that's all designed to interconnect people outside of that circle is a big threat. And part of it is they have, for whatever reason, if you like or dislike, they have applied these rules to their society. And the number of Twitter users in Saudi Arabia have doubled in 6 months to 2.9 million, amounting to a little over 10% of the population again. And by April of this year, the kingdom was the 8th biggest user of Twitter globally, accounting for 2.3% of all tweets. And Saudi Arabia now has the biggest number of viewers per capita of YouTube globally. So that has spawned a thriving industry of producing homemade videos that is, again, pushing at the boundaries of a traditional Saudi programming. And I'm going to tell you, the traditional Saudi programming, not fun. I'm sitting in the Middle East, in a variety of different countries. The state-run programming, satellite business is big there. Everywhere you go, there's a satellite dish. They're all getting stars. They're basically coming in and they're getting a full package of Western television, because the local television has a lot to be desired, and much of it is a church. I don't know if is that the right term. A lot of it's talking about the Muslim faith, and it's just on and on and on. So you just wonder then what's going to happen here as the internet, as this group grows up. How is that going to change all of these Middle Eastern countries? Are they going to become less conservative? And with people having more access, is opinions going to change? Is it going to lead to unrest? I think we've seen some of that already. It's just like what's going on in Egypt. You look at Egypt there; they were very advanced, and and they still are. But just the strife going on in their country right now is pretty crazy, and it's these little groups trying to put a wrapper, trying to get things put back in the box. Well, the genie's out of the bottle now, and things are not going to be able to put back in. So anyway, this is a very interesting read. If you guys go into this in much detail, please do, because it'll give you a little insight here, whether you like it or not. It's just what's affecting countries like Saudi Arabia and the Middle East. Now, do you think teenagers care about privacy? Well, there's a study out, and it's on computerworld.com, talking about privacy is a concern for teenagers. And I'm kind of thinking, the way they do stuff, I don't know. But the study says 1 in 4 teenagers have uninstalled a mobile app because they found out it was collecting personal information they didn't want to share. This was a report released Thursday by the Pew Research Center Internet and American Life Project. Half the teenagers have avoided an app altogether in their cell phone or tablet due to concerns about personal information they would have to share in order to use it. The report did not call out specific app makers like Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat, or Tumblr, but they say that privacy today is one of the crucial issues faced by those companies as consumers, of course, question the level of information they're able to gather. U.S. teenagers aged 12 to 17 and their parents took part in this survey. And the survey did not focus exclusively on social apps, though participants said in focus groups discussions that they primarily downloaded social media and game apps for phones and tablets, in addition to music, news, and weather apps. So my kids don't look at weather apps, or they don't look at news apps. They get news from me, which drives them crazy. So anyway, that is a little interesting tidbit. Hey, coming back to the Beltway, the president's outside experts who are going to form the surveillance review panel that he has ordered, not surprisingly, has very deep ties to the U.S. government. So if you remember, the president's administration, president said it was convening a high-level group of outside experts to review intelligence operation, conduct a meaningful review. So a report published yesterday from ABC News reveals that 4 of the panelists have longstanding ties to the government and intelligence infrastructure, leading some legal scholars outside the government to question how independent it will actually be. They did not address this issue on the press conference that was held today, while the president was actually airborne aboard Air Force One. And I guess the White House is going to announce the experts formally, or they're supposed to have done it today, but I didn't see it. But here's a couple of people that were on is Morrell. This guy by the last name Morrell is a veteran. Michael Morrell is a veteran of the CIA, having served as acting director agency twice, once in 2011 and once in 2012. Then there's Richard Clark, is a veteran of the government, having served as a counterterrorism advisor during the Bush administration. Later, he's appointed special advisor to the president on cybersecurity. Peter Swire, a law professor and privacy expert currently at the Georgia Institute of Technology, is also known on his website that he served during the Clinton administration as chief counsel for privacy in the U.S. Office of Management and Budget. He's also been involved in writing one of the best-known academic articles on the Foreign Intelligence Surveillance Act. It's a 104-page article where he outlines extensive history of the statute and proposes new reforms. And finally, Cass Sunstein, a Harvard law professor, formerly served as an administration of the Office of Information and Regulatory Affairs and is married to Samantha Powers, the current United States ambassador to the United Nations. So here you've got 4 people that still have very tight ties to the government. They're going to be heading up this review council. But, if you look at this in a couple of ways, each of those individuals will have to have been cleared via a security clearance. They're not going to get access to this program and the nitty-gritty of it without, basically being, given access. And then they'll have to, fall within the guidelines of not revealing too much. So it's going to be a tightrope walk for these folks. I don't know how they're going to do this. How do you go in? Now, just follow me along here for just a second. How do you go into a review where you are given access probably to some of the deepest secrets this government has? And who knows, we've only seen what's been announced on, the websites and whatever, and what's been reported in the news. But they're going to go in and they're going to look at all this stuff in great detail. And they will have to have been given access, and they have to have been issued a security clearance, I'm sure, to see this. And then how do they come out of that and actually tell the U.S. people, hey, don't you have nothing to worry about? Because they really are not going to be able to say anything. You're going to have to trust that these 4 people that come out and say, you have nothing to worry about. They're safeguards or whatever. Many, though, wondering if insiders is the way to go. Again, I think the reason that the group's not very diverse is because everyone needs to have a, security clearance to do this. So it's going to be very interesting what they say, if they can say. How are they going to, It's to me, it's a little weird. It really, really is. Okay, you can take a look and you can review this, but you can't talk about it. Oh, and you can tell the American public, give them your opinion, but you can't talk about particulars. You can't cite examples. You can't give them the data sets. I'm sure that's what it's going to be. So I wouldn't want to have to be in their shoes, but we'll see. We'll see where this leads. What do you guys think? Geeknews@gmail.com. Geeknews@gmail.com is the place to write your comments, share your ideas. Send me an audio file, too. You can do that via email or call the hotline. Leave your comment there. All right. This has been, let's just switch gears. Let's get off that crap. Let's get on something cool. MakerBot. MakerBot has caused quite some conspiracy, and not conspiracy. The folks at Maker, ever since they got their investment of money, don't do a lot of talking to lowly blogs like Geek News Central. And they have kind of shunned some of their community as well that made them famous. There's been a lot of tension in the open source development community with the team over at Maker. But Maker's coming out with a new 3D scanner. It's going to run you $1,500, but you're going to be able to stick your device on there and scan it. So this 3D scanner has been a goal of them for a long, long time, and they're pretty excited about it. The MakerBot Digitizer, going to be about over $1,500, is another innovative product. Bree says, for visionaries, early adopters, experimenters, educators, creative hobbyists, 3D sculptors, organic modelers, designers, and the list goes on and on and on. So, we know that there's another one that's been introduced. A rival Canadian firm announced its own sub $500 3D scanner earlier this year. But definitely going to be an interesting move here. Now, Maker was acquired by another company for over $400 million earlier this year. But they, so this company's going to want a little bit of return on their cash here. But the MakerBot Digitizer captures enough points to create about 200,000 triangles for each new 3D model. It can capture details as small as 0.5 millimeter and surface depth as shallow as 0.5 millimeter as well. The dimensional accuracy of the MakerBot is plus or minus 2 millimeters, meaning that when you scan an object, the dimensions of your 3D model will be within 2 millimeters of your original object. Now, 2 millimeters, all of you think that's probably pretty good spec. It's okay for a $1,500 scanner, I guess, but it definitely is not something that is, you're not gonna mill something with that. 2 millimeters is quite a bit of difference when you're talking about milling stuff. All right, let's switch to the next article. The folks at Tesla went really out, man. They basically were bragging. On Monday, Tesla said, hey, its Model S electric sedan achieved the best safety rating of any car ever tested. Well, the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, the NHTSA, which produced the safety rating, isn't happy about Tesla boasting. Now, they came out and put something on their website, and this tells you what their thoughts are. In a statement on its website, the NHTSA issued a rebuke. NHTSA does not rate vehicles beyond 5 stars and does not rank or order vehicles within the star rating categories. In addition, the agency has guidelines in place for manufacturers and advertising agencies to follow to ensure that accurate and consistent information is conveyed to the public. Now, the statement doesn't mention Tesla by name, but it's accompanied by a photo of the Model S in crash testing. And it's not buried in the media section of the site. It's on the home page. A look at the agency guidelines makes it clear that the NHTSA does not appreciate Tesla's claim that the Model S actually scored 5.4 stars, and basically saying it's the safest car around. Under the heading of avoiding misleading technology, the NHTSA says, the NHTSA strongly discourages the use of potential misleading words such as perfect, safest, flawless, or best in class to describe the star rating received by the vehicle. More acceptable phrases to describe a vehicle receiving a 5-star rating would include phrases such as highest or maximum safety rating or top safety rating or score. So apparently this is the first time the folks at Tesla have overreached their, what they're supposed to say. So, looks to me like the Tesla folks were pretty proud of their rating and wanted to brag a little bit, and they got kind of admonished a little bit. We'll see if they change their tune. All right, are you using Facebook on Android? Facebook has gotten a beefy update. Did some changes to the system, improved battery usage. App can now be opened in landscape. Album covers always displayed instead of the photo. It doesn't crash anymore when uploading pictures. And there's all kinds of new features and fixes. So if you are an Android user with a Facebook app, I didn't put this. That was dumb. For these you're watching, say, Todd, the Tesla article is still up there. So, okay, I'll fix that for you. This is over at AndroidCentral.com. So anyway, they've made an update to the app, so you probably have already got the auto update issued to you via your device. All right, so the Bradley Manning verdict came down, and the guy got 35 years. So immediately he says, "Oh, I want the president to pardon him," or his lawyer said they're going to apply for a pardon. Fat chance. He's probably only going to spend about 10 years in jail if he does everything correct and he doesn't cause any issues. But today, former Private First Class Bradley Manning has announced the intention to transition sex via female hormone therapy, and said she wished to be referred to as Chelsea E. Manning from now on. "I am Chelsea Manning. I am a female. Given the way I feel and have felt since childhood, I want to begin hormone therapy as soon as possible," Manning said in a statement. "I hope that you'll support me in this transition. I'll also request that starting today you refer to me by my new name and use the feminine pronoun except an official male to the confinement facility." Okay. Knowing just a little bit about being locked up and this is only based upon having transferred prisoners when I was in the Navy doing some stuff in my early years and basically moving prisoners via aircraft. I really don't think that the detention facility at Leavenworth has got something to help a person in this transition. So I'm sure this has got military folks scratching their head just a little bit. So we'll see where this leads. I'm just kind of like, really? So he wants to be reassigned to a female prison. So that's an interesting move. Now, I wonder if they're just using this. When something like this is announced, and hey, don't get me wrong. Okay, I don't want to make this. I want to make this very, very clear. If an individual wants to basically undergo this change, that's fine. That's their business. They can do what they want. When I lived in Guam, there was a full range of LBGT, the full spectrum. Here in Hawaii, same thing. And each his own. Whatever they want to do, that's their business. But when I hear something like this with this individual who just now is getting 35 years, it really makes me wonder if there's an angle here. Are they playing an angle? Are they trying to get more public opinion to spin this way, feeling sorry for this individual so that there'll be pressure for a pardon? I always wonder if there's an angle here like this. And I am sure that Bradley / Chelsea has this. You wouldn't have made this statement unless you wanted to do that. But this is a very interesting move and statement. And again, the U.S. military today is really leading the way. Some would probably say no, but there's let's be honest. For 20 years, my 25 years in the Navy, there was always individuals who had to hide their sexual preference for fear of retribution, for fear of being kicked out. There was even, and then there was don't ask, don't tell, which, really there was, still hidden. But then, now everything is, they can do whatever they want. They can come out and they can, it's fine. And so it'll be interesting to see how the military handles this one with him or her. I guess he wants to be referred to as her. So how they handle her. So love to hear your guys' thoughts on this. Maybe you can't comment. I don't know. But I just thought it was kind of a interesting move. All right, Delta Airlines equipped 19,000 flight attendants with Windows phones. Delta is the latest customer for Microsoft Windows phones. The airline is equipping 19,000 attendants with the Lumia 820 handset, a commitment to upgrade to newer Lumias over the next 3 years. This lets them do credit card processing on board the plane, do e-receipts, customer use of prepaid cards can be processed, and so forth. So you'll see a Windows phone on Delta flights if you fly Delta. Facebook Pages Managers 2.1 is now up and available and online. So if you're looking for that in the App Store, you can pick that up as well. That's another update to Facebook. The CBS Time Warner thing is still going pretty rough. CBS CEO Lee Mondes can't believe either that he's still fighting with Time Warner. And he quotes, "I cannot describe to you the frustration I feel at the way these negotiations have gone. Never in my most pessimistic moment did I ever think that they would have lasted this long and had been so difficult." So a little shot across the bow there. And if you're running iOS 7, the beta, and you're not a developer, don't lose your phone. Because if you do, Find My iPhone app will not work on an iOS 7 device. Just a heads up. Of course, you can still go online, I think. I guess it just doesn't work finding other phones. So if you use your device, find your device on your phone, you know where it is. It's in your hand, but it's for finding like your iPad or something like that. So the Find My Phone app update blocks anyone that isn't a developer running iOS 7 beta from using it. So just a heads up there. Pretty cool little video. You guys know that we've done a lot of coverage on the drones, the little handheld drones. The ones that, you buy for $400, $500, $600 and fly around your house or out in the yard. Well, there's a pretty cool video where you can control a drone just by tilting your head using a Google Glass interface. So this was a demo. We're using a quadcopter. So very, very cool. Nice little Vimeo video. I'll have it linked up in the show notes for you to check out. There's a new watch coming. It's on a Kickstarter. It's called Capture. And have you ever wished for an audio replay of your conversation, like maybe after getting directions to prove a point in an argument or bringing something back that was said weeks ago, saying, you didn't say that? Well, there's a new Kickstarter. It's called the Capture Bracelet. And constantly records, basically it's a watch, or it looks like a watch, that constantly records audio. With a tap of a figure on the device, you can retrieve the last 60 seconds of sound around you. And this might be your child's first words or convenient playback of a friend saying they'd get the 5th round of drinks. It's a nifty idea, even if you think it'll take some users training to get used to tapping the device pretty much immediately after you hear something. So I guess it only goes back 60 seconds? Okay. How about something that records something a little longer? So anyway, they're trying to raise $150,000 on Kickstarter. Over on GigaOM, my grandfather, when we were growing up, he basically was always kidding us because, his yard was pretty big, and it probably 4 to 5 acres was around the barns and the homestead, and we had to mow a large majority of that. And And I always used to complain because I was the one I always end up usually have to mow it. And sometimes it was with a push mower, not with a riding lawnmower or a tractor. But apparently, he had told me that he would just replace me with a goat at some point. So apparently some taxpayer dollars are being saved by using goats. Across U.S. airports and government organizations are working with ecologists to leverage the talents of animals and insects, from bees to beagles. So goats are a perfect lawnmower. Goats will eat anything. And so they're using goats to basically cut the grass at Chicago O'Hare. They put a little fence up, and they got them in an area where they can go out there and eat the weeds. And goats are inexpensive. They're easy to handle. They love poisonous and prickly plants like hemlock, poison oak, pampas grass, blackberry bushes, blooming yellow star thistle, and I mean, a goat will eat anything, right? They'll eat anything that's at eye level, and they'll eat year round. At O'Hare, a herd of 25 goats has been hard at work munching through acres of overgrowth to the north of the main terminal. It's not like mowing your lawn. You're just out there eating the stuff, and they're fertilizing at the same time. And they are being shepherded by electrified enclosures. And here's the incredible part. Here's what I find amazing. For just $19,500, those goats will clear more than 120 acres of land over the course of a few weeks. Now, it may not be fast as running a mower over it or spraying herbicides, but the environmental savings are adding up quickly. So I think it's kind of interesting here that they're using goats. Now, they're using animals all over the place. They're using bees to sniff out bombs. Red worms are recycling airport trash. Dogs are detecting bed bugs, and on and on and on. So if you are mowing grass out of O'Hare, I'm sorry that you're on the unemployment line. You've been replaced by a goat. Oh, man, that's just funny. When I was growing up, we had sheep, and is raising for 4-H, and we had a couple of goats because goats make great bodyguards. But I had one goat that got out and got into the feed, and he ate to the point of gorging himself to the point where he had to be put down. They will eat and eat and eat. They're incredible. You think cows eat a lot? Goats just go to town. But any of you use a goat to mow the grass? That farmer, whoever's putting those goats out there, very smart. All you got to do is provide some water and a fence and check on them a couple times a day and just let the money roll right in, right? It's not like you have to clean up after them either. Let's talk a little bit about Ford. Ford's factory cameras can spot a single speck of dust on a new car. This is pretty cool. Previously, Ford relied on manual inspections, but now the automobile manufacturer is using a high-res camera that captures and analyzes over 3,000 images, spot every last speck of dirt. 16 cameras in total, actually capturing 15 images every second, then used to create a detailed 3D model of the vehicle. Any specks of dirt or imperfections or spots that need a paint touch-up are highlighted on 3D model, allowing workers to concentrate on getting the perfect finish instead of hunting for problems with their eyes might miss. Since installing the cameras, Ford has found a vast improvement in the quality of paint jobs in new vehicles, and it plans to install systems in 5 more factories in North America. Makes sense. Great review over at Geek News Central on the Logitech Touch keyboard, the K400. One of our writers, Alan Buckingham, put this article up on the website. So definitely check it out. This is a new keyboard available from the folks at Logitech, and going to be available for $40 online. It's going to go into Europe in September. It's available in the United States, I believe, now. Another article that was written on Geek News Central was an article by Jeffrey Powers on Ubuntu, and talking about how they failed to crowdfund a what's called Ubuntu Edge. It was ambitious. They were trying to raise $32 million, but they were only able to raise $12 million. They had 13,000 people back it. So the Ubuntu Edge was a concept open source phone using Ubuntu operating system, and the phone was planned to be a dual boot Android and Ubuntu model. So didn't make it. So this project is not going to move forward. So maybe they set their goal a little too high on the dollar amount. Hey, DirecTV for iPhone reaches version 3. It's got a redesigned look and improved navigation. So if you're a DirecTV user and you've got one of these on your iPhone, make sure you get it updated. Chrome OS Stable turns 29 with an immersive mode, improved launcher and search functions. So if you've got a Chromebook or you're actually using Chrome OS on another device, the update's available. But allows you to have a real nice, cool full screen feature, which I like, which may come in handy here in some of the stuff that we're going to be doing in the near future. Also, NASA has reactivated the WISE spacecraft for asteroid search. NASA announced Wednesday it's reactivating a dormant space telescope to resume its search for near-Earth objects. The Wide Field Infrared Surveyor, Explorer WISE, will be turned back on next month for a 3-year mission to search for a study of near-Earth objects under a project called NEOWISE. Scientists expect 40-centimeter telescopes and instruments will be able to discover 150 NEOs. So I wonder if they got a little money with Kepler and stuff, basically going kaput, and they were moving money around. I wonder if that's what's happening with this project. I'll skip that article. I thought it would be good to begin with, but I'll skip it. Next one up is, hey, massive patent troll LoadSys dropped its bogus patent lawsuit, which was filed to silence a critic. Back in July, LoadSys basically sued Todd Moore's company, TMSoft, for basically this guy was talking bad about them during a podcast. And he had called LoadSys a patent troll on his podcast. I, in my opinion, think they're a patent troll. Again, in my opinion, I think they are. So, but Todd said that he spent like $120,000 in legal fees already in prep for the trial. Pretty crazy stuff here. He says the total cost of my company would have been $190,000. That's just for their initial response to the lawsuit. We hadn't even gotten to the court, which would have increased the amount into millions. Remember that it only cost LoadSys about $450 to file the lawsuit. This is why small businesses will usually always settle. It's just not worth it to fight. And even if you could win and get rewarded your attorney's fees and costs, which are very rare, you probably won't see a dime of that money. So nice to see that they have released that lawsuit. Had to take a shot of H2O here, folks. Article over in Tech Dirt. Order to destroy Canadian Guardian hard drives came directly from Prime Minister David Cameron. So just let you guys get some information on that. That's a follow-up to the story we did on the last show. A couple articles over on Slashdot. The BBC is reporting experts are causing doubt. The BBC is reporting that experts are casting doubt on the veracity of statements from both the Tokyo Electric Power Company and the Japanese government regarding the seriousness of the problem at the Fukushima nuclear power plant. Not only are the constant leaks releasing radioactivity into the ocean and thus into the food chain, but now there are also worries that the spent fuel rod storage pools may be even more unstable than first thought, an external consultant warns. He says the Japanese have a problem for asking for help. It's a big mistake. They badly need it. I agree. They have this pride thing there that is incredible. Those of you that have not had exposure to the Japanese culture, you just don't. It's like with a tight upper lip, they will not ask for help. And they will deny. I'm going to tell you, if they've got culture issues dealing with this Fukushima thing, and they are being bite the upper lip and keep the mouth shut, and everything's fine, folks, this is going to get worse. Let's hope they're not. Let's hope they're being open, and let's hope the U.S. government's keeping the pressure on them to make sure that they're reporting and releasing findings as they should. All right, you go to a hotel. You're there, and you have a little incident. You're starting to get bit by bed bugs. You go downstairs. You complain to the management. They offer to move you. You decide to stick it out for the night. I wouldn't. But the next morning, as you're checking out, you badmouth the hotel, tell the guest about it, and then write a review. Well, the hotel sued this guy for writing the review about the bed bugs. They've sued him for $95,000. This is another example of why customers always right, especially in the digital age. You know, we had never heard about this Hotel Quebec. It's out of Hotel Quebec. Where's this actual hotel? Let me look at his TripAdvisor review. Let me give you guys a little detail on this bug bed hotel. Where was it actually at? I guess it was Quebec City. Hotel Quebec, part of the Jaro Hotels. But yep, they've sued this guy. Oh man! So we'd have never heard about this. Never. This would have been buried. And then so now it's all over the news. And you guys, if you ever go to Quebec City, will never stay at this hotel. Ever. I guarantee you. You'll never forget this. How many are familiar with Orb Networks? We actually had an agreement with Orb Networks. They licensed our MyCast trademark. And streaming media company Orb Network said Thursday that it was shut down, having been acquired by an anonymous third-party company that will absorb its media platform. That means anyone who uses Orb Live or MyCast service will be unable to do so soon. MyCast is, of course, their free service. It may shut down as early as this month. The company sent a support document. Orb will maintain the Orb Live service until the end of 2013. So just be aware of that. So I think we've got a clause. Yeah, I have to tell Barry about this. So I have to go dig it out. But Raw Voice owns the trademark for MyCast. And we did a deal with Orb so that they could continue to use MyCast in their feature. All right, Pandora plans to lift its 40-hour free mobile listening cap on September 1st. So during this afternoon's earnings call, Pandora executives said that they would lift the 40-hour monthly cap. And this is actually the second time Pandora has instituted a free cap and then lifted it again. It last lifted the cap in September 2011. So good news for those of you that are using Pandora. There's also a new brain scanning technique that can visualize your imagination. This is pretty crazy stuff here. Let me get this article up for you. Over on extremetech.com, the folks at this week, a team of Dutch researchers announced that a combination of a high-resolution MRI, computational modeling, and a little bit of deck stacking precedence has allowed them to draw a subject's experience right out of the brain. The study builds on years of research into how visual and cognitive information is represented in the brain, and it is the biggest step forward. It's actually more conceptual than technological. So basically, they were able to, if you see it here, on what the person was actually seeing, they were showing them letters, and it actually they actually were able to pretty much get it right. So pretty crazy stuff here. It is pretty cool. So I'll have a link up in the show notes for you to check out. They can literally read your brain. There's a guy that he must be one of these folks that has, the body art all over the place. But a body hacker uses subdermal RFID hand implant as wireless storage. Last month, Rich Lee implant magnetic. He's also got magnetic headphones into his ears. Now he's basically putting an RFID chip the size of a grain of sand into his hand, and he can access the data stored on the chip. It only holds about 2K, so it's not very big. The RFID chip was protecting a glass casing before it was injected in the skin, Its antenna has a range of about 1 to 2 centimeters. So it's just weird. I'm not ready to wear my storage yet. Popular download management program has hidden denial of service component. So, recent version of Orbit Downloader, a popular Windows program for downloading embedded media content and other types of files from websites, turns computers into bots and uses them to launch distributed denial of service attacks. Starting with version 4.11.14, released in December, the Orbit Downloader program silently downloads and uses DLL components that has denial of service functionality. So this is not good news for that. Link will be up in the show notes on that. So if you use that, check your version. One thing I've always wondered is how to migrate Time Machine backups to a new drive. And if you need to upgrade or replace your Time Machine drive, you can do so without starting your backups over again. Great tutorial article over on CNET for you to check out. Hear about Huffington Post? I'm not a big Huffington Post website fan. I'm definitely not a fan of Ariana Huffington. But she announced that the site plans to end anonymous content next month. So basically, they said there's too many trolls using the site to hide behind anonymity to make violent offensive contents, and that they believe that people should stand up for what they say. So no more anonymous comments on Huffington Post by Ariana Huffington. Yes, not a fan of hers at all. Or even cord cutters will have to pay the cable bill. Internet television's finally seems about to jump over to Connected World. ESPN on Wednesday said it has held introductory discussions to offer its channels through web-based TV services. That comes on the heels of the news that Sony has reached a preliminary internet distribution deal with Viacom, and that Google was talking to NFL about buying the rights to its Sunday Ticket package. So this is cool. They say that it could, if you want to get ESPN, it doesn't say how much. But, you're going to have to pay for this premium content. But you can pick and choose what you want. I think it's a great, great idea. It's a time that has come. It's overdue. Sign me up. Heck, I would even pay for ESPN even though I don't watch too much sports just to say that I'm paying for it digitally, right? All right, last couple articles tonight. And we'll wrap this thing up. After technical glitch, NASDAQ halted trading for hours. And they didn't say what happened. They had some sort of technical glitch. So anyway, they were offline trading. So it just goes to show you that even the companies with lots of money have problems from time to time. All right, Nexus 7 has received a bug fix, and update should solve multi-touch and GPS issue. And I just discovered the GPS issue yesterday on the new Nexus 7. It wasn't locking on while playing Ingress. You could play for about 3 minutes, and it would stop updating. It was really driving me crazy. I thought something was going on, but it was just the new Nexus 7. So I'm waiting for my turn in line to get the update, and I will hopefully be able to be playing Ingress on the new Nexus 7. I love this thing. It's so thin and light. It's nice. Okay, so let me go ahead here and look and see what we got in email. And look at the time. Where are we at on time? Oh, we're doing okay on time. Not bad. Didn't have my Red Bull before the show tonight. So that definitely puts me at a disadvantage from a keep the power on type of thing. So let's look at here. Did I already cover this? Yeah, I did. And I covered that. All right, so the next thing. Got an email from Deb. Hey, Todd, been loving the show. I just redid my donation finally. Remembered several months ago, PayPal just mysteriously stopped them. I hadn't gone back and set them up. I think I'm still on the insider list, so do not need to add me again. Thanks for all you do. Love the show. Thanks, Deb. Deb, thanks so much. Thanks for being an insider here. I do appreciate it a lot. I really do. And we've had a number of new people come in and become insiders, so thanks for that. Got an email from MS Small Biz, and says, to say the least, this is about the astronaut recounting his almost drowning in space. He says, to say the least, many would panic. As a diver who has ran out of air during a decompression stop, I can personally say that having no air in your lungs and just being 20 feet from the air can truly be an eye opener. That 20 feet might as well be a mile at that moment. I can't even start to imagine the control one has to have to floating miles above the earth alone, and your sole source of life is filling with water. NASA didn't reveal the problem was this great. No wonder all spacewalks using U.S. suits have been canceled until they get the faulty suit back to Earth for full inspection. But if you read this thing, man, folks, I'm going to tell you, this is going to open your eyeballs in a big, big, big way. Incredible. It's like being waterboarded with no place to escape. So yesterday I saw a piece in the news from, I think it was daily.co.uk, and it had it was on my Facebook posting. And just a warning, if you go over my Facebook page and you click on this link to the daily.co.uk, I'm forewarning you, very graphic. If you don't want to see dead kids laid out on the ground, covered up, do not, I repeat, do not go to this article. But I went about 3/4 through the page before I couldn't stomach it anymore and went and left the page. But I wanted to share it with you. And I got an email from one of our listeners. And I don't know if she wants me to say who she is. I'm not going to, just because I don't know if she does. But I want to read her comments. This listener says, I always feel that we, the U.S., should go in and get that homicidal tyrant out of power, and is referring to the Syrian dictator. My problem in Syria is that there is a very strong Al-Qaeda-related faction, which is part of the insurgent groups. We help the rebels, and what happens? A void is created by the overthrow of Assad. You see what happened when Gaddafi was overthrown, when Mubarak was deposed, and when Saddam fell. Most rebellions in the Middle East seem to be composed of several groups who don't cooperate in peacetime, but are united against the reigning tyrant. So once that tyrant is overthrown, a large vacuum of power exists. It seems that the most organized and most aggressive factions take control, and that the bloodshed starts in earnest as a result of the fighting faction rebels against the new group that takes power. Am I worried that the winning group in Syria, if Assad is defeated, will have strong Al-Qaeda connections? What to do? That is Obama's quandary. So let me read that again. Am I worried that the winning group in Syria, if Assad is defeated, will have a strong Al-Qaeda connection? And she says, what to do? What to do? That is Obama's quandary. I don't want to turn this into a political show at all, but to see those, and if that article at the dailyco.uk was true, and it turns out that regime used gas on their own people, and to see all those kids laying there, I don't care who you are, I don't care what religion you believe in, I don't care what political party you are, seeing kids dead is a shocker. And not a bullet, not nothing. It's something happened there. And I don't like to see U.S. forces be engaged. But I'm going to tell you, it's bad. It's really bad. And a lot of people say we shouldn't get involved. We should just let them go ahead and do what they're going to do. But, you see those. And again, that article is definitely meant to tug the old heartstrings. Because, I'm looking at these kids laying there. I'm thinking that could be my kid laying there. Would I want someone to care? Yeah. Would I want someone to get pissed off? Yes. Would I want someone to do something? I would be screaming if I was alive at the top of my lungs. But we live in a very, very strange world right now. If this had happened in Israel, and Israelis were laying on the ground like that, covered up from a gas attack, I think the missiles would already be flying. If that was an American city, and it was American school children laying there, the missiles would be flying. And we'd be engaged, and there would be outrage. That's a long way from home. I don't know how you guys feel. I don't expect you to make a comment. But what I saw on that daily.co.uk article, I'm telling you, it shocked me. Here we are again. This is this genocide stuff, man. What is up with these people wanting to kill their populations? Hitler was the worst. Maybe not in history was worse, but he was, in my mind, he was the worst. And then we got this guy doing this. It's insane. It really, really is. So, if you want to look at it, I'm not going to link it up in the show notes. It's on my Facebook page. You'll find it. Again, strong warning here. Very, very, if you can't stomach it, don't look at it. But I'm here to tell you, it's bad. Really, really bad. But I just wanted to share it. And it's crazy. So anyway, that's it. Everyone, thanks for being here. Hey, support the show. Become an insider. Go to geeknewscentral.com. Click on the insider link in the second column of the website. We want to thank all of you for being part of the family. Thank you for letting me digress here at the end of the show about this thing that I was just moved by last night. And appreciate you hanging out to the end here. But we'll be back Saturday with a new media show. And got a great guest lined up. And please support our sponsor here at the show at Geek News Central. Support GoDaddy. I'm telling you, folks, it's important. Really, really, really. Go out there and pick up a product or two. Encourage your friends and family members, people that may not have accounts, get them hooked up. Is this a great, great present for a teenager? So they get them started in writing. You name it. There's all kinds of great applications for getting online and living your passion. So thanks for being here, folks. We'll see you on the next show. Everyone take care. Aloha.